The Artist's Way, a spiritual path to higher creativity. I don't know what the hell that means when I first bought this, and I didn't know what I was in for, but all I knew was I was desperate to get creative. I had some questions about this book. I was curious about it when I first got it, and I wondered, what am I in for? Especially the size of this book and the font and the print and a lot of reasons I'll get into in a minute, but I kind of felt like when I first started reading this that I was, did I just join a cult? The answer is no, it's not a cult, but I wondered if there was a culty vibe to it. I don't know. That's maybe I'm too cynical. I don't know. Yeah. Hey friends. Today it's all about The Artist's Way. The Artist's Way and my long/short journey with it. I've tried to do it, I think, about 3 times, and each time I've quit. I've quit because I don't know, I lost interest. It lost me. I got frustrated with it. I just kind of wondered, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? What is this lady talking about? Also, what are all these people that love it so much talking about? Who are some of the people that love it? Well, let's see. We've got Elizabeth Gilbert, who I admire greatly. And I did read part of Big Magic. I have a habit of starting books and then sometimes just not finishing them, but Big Magic is one I want to revisit. I kind of forgot about it. Anyhow, she had said, I'm just going to read the highlighted parts. It takes you on a journey. Without The Artist's Way, there would have been no Eat, Pray, Love. Martin Scorsese. Martin. His blurb is pretty short, so we can read the whole thing. This is a book that addresses a delicate and complex subject. For those who will use it, it is a valuable tool to get in touch with their own creativity. So I was bitter about this book. I was really bitter about using this book. I bought it, I want to say maybe 2017, 2018, but it's been sitting on a bookshelf for many years. I was eager to dive into it when I got it, but then I started and I was like, what the heck is this? What do you mean you want me to get up every morning and just write 3 full pages of just whatever garbage is in my head? Thoughts that are formed and unformed alike. And I wasn't down with that idea. And I think I tried it for like 1 or 2 mornings and I was like, yeah, I'm over this. This is hooey. This is a bunch of hooey. And I believe I ordered this on Amazon. I'm almost positive. But I remember looking at it and not thinking much of it when I saw the photo online. But then when it arrived in person, I was like, why is it this big? Why? Why is this like a square book? That unnerved me for some reason. Also, the color scheme. I'm just going to give you some reasons why I was bitter about this book just upon its arrival. The sheer size of it made me think, okay, so all of this real estate here, plus, like, there's a lot of pages in here. But here's the thing. You think that it's going to be written all across, but then you open it up and it looks like this. Okay, there's big spaces on the side. There's little quotes, sprinkled around the corners. This is an annoying setup. So right off the bat, the book physically is like, I'm not a regular book. I'm an annoying book. I'm just an awkward size. If the print, for the most part, is just right here, and then you've got like a good 1.5 inches of space up at the top and bottom, this is like an A5 size sketchbook. It could have been this big. It could have been the size of a regular book. But no, instead, it looks like a workbook I would have had in middle school. Like like very early 90s textbook that comes with a workbook. Do you know what I'm talking about? Also, the color scheme is just, listen, this may be your color scheme, okay? I'm sorry, but it's not mine. I don't like it. I don't know why. I don't like this honey mustard yellow with a rusty red. Who picked this? Whoever did it, you're wrong. You're wrong. This is not okay. So I'm upset about that. But also it looks like it has a big like faux finish painting thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Remember when like the faux finishes on it, you know, it looks like the walls inside a cheesecake factory, a delicious, wonderful cheesecake factory, but it looks like these would be the walls in there. Am I wrong? I feel like I'm right about this, but it's the color scheme that annoys me the most. Also, not thrilled that we have so many fonts going on here. There's like 1, 2, 3. There's probably 3 fonts, but we've got a lot of italicized words. Is that necessary? It really upsets me, and I don't know why, and maybe I'm a snob, but there's something in me that's like, no, it's too much, it's overkill. Anyway, I digress. Here's the thing. The main thing that happens when you sign up to do the Artist Way is there are 12 weeks. 12 weeks you're supposed to commit to like healing your inner artist little baby child. And that's cool and all. That's cool. I was kind of like, you know what? I'm doing it again. I'm going to try it again. The morning pages, I was like, listen, I'm just going to take it super guilty. Let's just take it super easy. No big pressure to write 3 full pages. I had this journal that I bought, I don't know, a year or 2 ago, just a blank, you know, whatever. And I thought I would start journaling because I kept thinking back to how this is a main part of the Artist Way. And then I also just thought for my mental health, it'd be a good way to just like keep track of thoughts, because I tend to have racing thoughts. I have ADHD, and I'm in perimenopause, which the hormone fluctuations really make the ADHD even more intense. Nobody told me that would happen. So I have been writing for, I've written a lot. So from here, this is all journal pages. It's all journaling. I can't, I have a couple pages I started when I first got this, but I cannot believe that I wrote like an inch thick worth of pages. Like, whoa. This was all inside here, like first thing in the morning. And I have to tell you, surprise, surprise, it freaking works. And I'm not happy. I'm not happy to admit that I was wrong about it, but I was wrong about it. It works. It does work. And nothing was happening for like the first few weeks. I was writing sometimes 3 pages a day. Sometimes there were like 4 or 5 page days. Sometimes there was a half a paragraph day. Either way, it's mind-blowing how effective it was at just making space for creativity. And I didn't see that until a few weeks in. So it took a good, I want to say it was like, I noticed a difference after maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Like it was so slight that I wasn't sure if it was just all in my head, no pun intended, but I wasn't sure if it was due to journaling or that I was just doing a better job taking care of myself. One of the things was that I wasn't looking at my phone first thing in the morning. I certainly wasn't like watching TV or anything, but it's like I would get up, I would pour all the nonsense that was in my head, no matter what it was, whether it was list making or just writing about a weird dream I had or, you know, how I was feeling physically that day. It could be anything. And it's amazing how much of a difference it made, because it was, the thing with journaling is you take all this stuff that's just kind of floating around in your head, you put it down on paper, and you've decluttered your brain. That's basically how I see it working. So it really does work. It works better for me than probably meditation. I think it'd probably be really beneficial to journal and then meditate. I don't know. I mean, I think it'd both be really good. So I'm amazed at how effective that was. So if nothing else, I've definitely taken that away from the Artist Way. One of the things I noticed was it was like maybe 2 months in that I finally had some epiphanies. And those epiphanies were that I really wanted to make more quote unquote serious fine art. And I wanted to paint and paint more, like paint on big canvases. And I just had all these thoughts of like, I just felt fired up about this. And thoughts about what I wanted to do as far as like helping build an art community, you know, even if it's a tiny one. And all of this stuff was like in my head, but it was buried underneath all these nonsense thoughts, or all these, you know, just the random thoughts that you have and the busyness in your mind. And clearing that away by putting it on paper, all the nonsense junk, all the BS, bologna sandwiches, all of that stuff, getting it cleared out, made space for me to start, you know, pondering things that I was passionate about. And it could have been things that I was passionate about, but like I just didn't give myself time to think about, or I was passionate about and hadn't thought about in a long time, and it brought it back up to the surface, which is exactly what happened. There were just some wild things that came up that was like, dude, I forgot about that stuff. I forgot that I wanted to do that once, or you know what I mean? So morning pages, no matter what you want to call them, I can't recommend it enough. I had no idea it had it in me. And for the last month or so, I have been very inconsistent with doing it. My life's been a little bit busy, and then I got out of the habit, a few days here, a few days there, and then I just totally got away from it. And I find myself feeling overwhelmed, having a lot of busyness in my head again. So to me, that says I need to get back into it. So I'm definitely going to. Now, as far as the book goes and the 12 weeks that you're supposed to commit to doing this, it's like basically an artist retreat for yourself, you know, all that kind of stuff that you're doing by yourself for yourself. Oh, here it is. So I had a bookmark here, and it's a business card actually. Yeah, look how far I got. The bookmark was for week 2. Obviously, I didn't get there. So all I really have to show you is that I did morning pages, found great benefit through it. And artist dates, which are, I have mixed feelings about artist dates. Okay, mixed feelings, but I also totally see the benefit of doing them. So I took myself out on this artist date, right? And I went to our local park. One of many. We have a thing in Cleveland called the Metro Parks, and it's just a bunch of different connected parks throughout the entire Cleveland downtown and suburban areas. So I went for a walk there. It was one of the first nice days we had. It was actually April 7th of this year. It was the day before the eclipse. And it was like April 7th and 8th were beautiful, gorgeous days, which is miraculous for Cleveland. For Cleveland standards, it is usually just gray and rainy through all of April. So those were like diamond days, okay? I like total miracles. It was a beautiful day. It was lovely. I had a lovely walk. I kind of took in the scenery and everything. The only thing is, I took my phone out and I was filming some of it. And I felt like that was taking away from the moment. And part of me wanted to film it to share it for this video. And the other part of me wanted to film it because I wanted to capture like the essence of like what I was experiencing, where I was like, I'm looking at all this greenery and there's little wildflowers on the ground and this beautiful river and all those things were, when you see something really beautiful and if you're alone, you're like, oh, I wish someone was here so I could share it with them. That's exactly what this was. I was like, I want to share this with somebody. And I also want to like document it for myself so I can look back. But at the same time, you can't really, photos and videos just, they don't do it justice ever, I really felt bitter and rebellious about the whole artist date thing because I thought, do I really have to do this by myself? And also, I don't see what the point is. Like, why is it like, oh, you must be alone? That's the whole thing with the artist date. The artist date are, you're supposed to take like at least 2 hours once a week by yourself. You take yourself somewhere, or you can do an activity. I guess I suppose you could do something like in your home, where, whatever. I look at it this way. I think a lot of people take it real hardcore and they're like, I'm going to take myself to the art museum. That is a proper artist date. And that is totally allowed for an artist date. Absolutely. Take me to the museum. Cool. But it doesn't have to be an art museum. I think people get really hung up on like they have to go to the art store. They have to go to an art museum. They have to do some kind of craft. They have to like go take some kind of like pottery class. I don't know. I'm like, it doesn't have to be that intense. And it certainly doesn't have to be that expensive either. You can take yourself anywhere. I look at it like it's an escape. It's an escape for 2 hours where you're not thinking about work. It's you time. It could be anything. So I honestly think you could sit at home and watch a movie that's like a beautiful art film, or maybe it's a comedy. I don't know. But like the whole thing is doing it by yourself for yourself. Honestly, if it came to going to the art museum, I'm better off going by myself because I can go there and I could just walk around by myself, enjoy it. I don't have to worry about being pressed for time or keeping someone out there that doesn't want to be there. I think there's like nothing worse than when you're out with somebody and you're doing something that only you are enjoying and they're so bored and not into it. It's just unpleasant for everybody. In my opinion, I'm like, I can feel their boredom. So I guess in conclusion, when it comes to this ugly ass awkward book, it has some gems in there, okay? I admit it has gems. It has some treasures. I didn't go through all the weeks because I quit once again. But that doesn't mean that I've fully walked away from this. Is it a DNF, as the booktubers and book talkers call it? Kinda, sort of. I didn't finish it once again. But I do want to keep reading it. I do want to keep coming back to it when I feel like I need a little nudge, a little something to get me going. But I don't feel the need. I don't feel hard pressed to follow it to a T, to be all like rule heavy. Yeah, so I feel like the gems are definitely journaling. It's a great exercise that people are always pushing and therapists will always tell you to do. And until you're doing it and you've done it for a while, you don't see the benefits till you're kind of deeper into it. So I guess it's kind of like physical exercise. Like you don't see the changes until it's been a few weeks. And then you're like, oh, I have more energy. I have clearer thinking. I like getting up in the morning. When I don't work out, I feel a little sluggish, and when I don't write, I feel cluttered in my mind. So definitely definitely recommend the journaling. Never thought I'd be a person that said that, because the idea of journaling always icked me. I was like, I don't like that. But I'm here for it now. I'm here for it. Yes, I am. Artist states, I think, if anything, it's just a reminder to take care of yourself and do something special for yourself. When you're in a position like many women I know, who are moms and work a full-time job, and you're always like on call to take care of somebody or put a fire out. That's what it feels like a lot of times when you're a parent. To have to set aside time for yourself feels crazy luxurious. Also gives me guilty feelings, because I'm like, well, what if someone texts me and needs me? Sadly, and it's not just women, everybody and anybody. But I mean, I'm just thinking of people I know that are parents that just, they constantly feel like they're on call. The ties are never cut for like a long period of time. They don't really get a break. But so when you take a break, you're taking that little tiny 2-hour vacation out of a whole week of however many hours are in a week. Let's put the number here, because I can do math. It can be hugely beneficial and a great break for your mind. Gives you time. It's recess. That's what it is. It's a nice break. I get it. I get the point. So would I recommend this? Do I think it's going to change your life? Do I think it's going to unlock your creativity, as so many people like to say? Maybe. It might. Do I think you need to get this ugly book? I don't think you have to get it. I think you can just, first of all, there's like videos that go over the whole 12 weeks. So you could just kind of watch that and glean what you need to from that. I think that you could just start off by journaling and then committing to once a week doing something special for yourself to kind of let your inner child, so to speak, play. And that can work. I don't think you have to follow this exactly. So there are benefits. There are things I don't love about it, and it's not just the physical book, but it's some of the writing is kind of dated, and there is a lot of God talk, which I know is going to turn a lot of people off, and fair enough, that's okay. But Julia Cameron does make a point to say, like, it doesn't, if the word God makes you uncomfortable, then, put in place of that word whatever you want, like the energy, the universe, Mother Earth, whatever sort of cosmic spiritual word you want to put in there. Because I don't think she was purposely trying to alienate people. I think that's the term that she uses. And that's fine. But some of the writing felt a little bit dated, as in like it felt like a self-help book from the 80s or 90s. It had that feel to it. The writing had that feel to it. There's a bunch of is it case studies? I don't know. I guess it's like people who used her book, and here's how things went for them. And it felt very dated, like a lot of the examples of people who use this and it worked for them. You'll see if you read it, but it's just stuff like that. Like some of it felt a little hokey, but other than that, yeah, I gotta say, not all bad. I was definitely bitter and didn't like the idea of liking this book, because that's just me. But yeah, I will give it, if I were to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, I'm gonna give it like a thumbs this way. It's like 7 out of 10 for me. Maybe 6.8. I don't think I can give it a full 7. But, there are a lot of people that swear by it. And maybe by the time I actually work my way through this whole book, maybe I'll feel differently. Who knows? Time will tell. I did want to say that through doing this, I did find that I got looser in my art. I know. What? I found some changes in my art. I found that I wanted to experiment more. And I'm always up for like experimenting, but I really found myself like, I had shown this on some of my previous videos, how I started doing like these heavy duty mixed media pieces. This was very recent. I did this and this. Oops, can you see? In the last couple days. So some of my work is a little bit tighter usually. I'm not like, I don't think of myself as crazy tight with the way I work, but this did loosen something up in me. Like I found myself being like, let's just use a bunch of different materials and let's play. And it really is due to a lot of journaling and figuring out, unlocking that thing that I found I wanted to do and didn't realize I wanted to do. I've also got, I could show you real quick. So I did this, and this was based on just doing some looser stuff, and the idea was doing blocking in negative space. I don't know why I can never remember what that term is. Negative space painting. So where I did like a rainbow array of colors and then blocked in the imagery that I wanted to do. And by the way, if you were here for that and I said I didn't know what I wanted to do for the edges, and I said I wanted to do either, I was thinking about doing either like those rainbow colors, like extending that, or putting glitter on the side, or disco mirrors. Ooh, look at that. You guys. Yeah. Ooh, wouldn't that be a cool headband? That would be so cool. Yeah, I'm gonna wear this for the rest of the video. So do you like it? I'm going to be putting that on the sides here. I can't wait to see how that's going to look when it's done. Yeah. So there you have it. And this sketchbook, by the way, because I've been messing around in it so much, is almost done. I have 1, 2, 3 spreads to go, and then this chunky little lady is gonna be toured as a sketchbook tour. Yeah. And if you're not subscribed, feel free to do so. I would love your company. And you can like the video, leave a comment. Please let me know what your experiences have been with this book. If you've ever used it, if you tried it. Did you do it by yourself? Did you do it with like a group of people and hold each other accountable? I'm dying to know what other people's experience has been. Or I heard from a couple people when I put this in a community post that they were like, oh yeah, every time I've tried it, I've quit it. It's just not for me. I just can't get into it. And I was like, yeah, me too. But I tried it for a third time thinking it'd be the charm. 'Twas not. But we'll keep going eventually. We'll get to it. So I guess I'll see you on the next video. Might be a sketchbook tour. It might be a draw weird things with me. Not sure. Time will tell. And I will see you then. So thanks for hanging with me. Bye.